Get ready to get in the game. Stretch, strengthen, live, and thrive. You can be a winning athlete in the game of life. It's the Peel Appeal with author and corrective exercise specialist Matt Peel.
Hey, this is Matt Peel with the Peel Appeal podcast. How are you today? What's going on in your world? Where are you? Are you at the gym? Are you in your car? Are you at your house? I hope it's amazing for you on this fabulous day, because this is going to be a fabulous episode with someone that I get to see a few times a week and train, well, right now once a week. She is an all-star. She is a local business owner here in the Mandeville, Covington, and New Orleans area. A fine person, Chick-fil-A operator in Covington, Louisiana, Lauren Nelson. Welcome to the show, Lauren.
Thanks, Matt. Thanks for having me.
What's going on with you today?
Nothing, just a normal Friday, just getting my kids to summer camp, just getting into the flow of things and going to sell some chicken to people who want to eat with us.
That's right, because that puts food on your table.
Yep, that makes it fun.
It does. So Lauren has been my client here 6-7 months, has it been? I'm not sure.
Yeah, I
I've
was
worked
going
with
to
your
say it's
husband
probably
too.
been almost a year. Yep.
Yeah, almost a year. Yeah, you're right. You're right. So Lauren has been working out beyond that with me. I've seen her here at Ocean Country Club for over a year. She was with another trainer before that trainer left. And tell us though, Lauren, what's going on in your world that makes you want to show up every day and exercise?
Yeah, so for me, exercise has never been something that I routinely got into, as much as I knew it was important. But now I am a mom of three boys. I have a 6-year-old, a 4-year-old, and a 1-year-old, and I just want to be able to keep up with them is my main reason, I would say. But just stay healthy, for them. I think it takes them getting older. It's so much energy, and it's harder for your body as a woman to bounce back after having a child. And so for me, that was something that I was really passionate about after this one. My last two, I tried to get into shape by just dieting and watching what I was eating and trying to lose weight that way. And just I'm trying to see, hey, what's the best way for me to be healthy, and to really just, I'm a future thinker. And so just thinking through what's going to set me up for success, in the long run, as I get older, and trying to keep up with, going from baby boys to teenage boys. And so that's really kind of my why behind it, and what kind of fuels me to think about going to the gym. And since I've started doing that, I definitely have seen, more energy from myself, and I think some stress relief just as a mom and a
Yeah.
business owner, coming from that. And just now it's, I've been doing it for long enough that it's just become a part of my life and a habit and a routine, I would say, which is a good place to be at this point.
Agreed. And how old are you, Lauren? So people know.
I'll be 34 this month.
Be 34 this month. So in the next few years, you could potentially be going into perimenopause, which then really throws your body into a big change. So when you mentioned that between child 2 and 3, you just tried dieting, which is an important part. So tell me pros and cons, or how did you feel only dieting and not exercising, and what were your successes or maybe not so much successes on that?
I did see some success from it. I was able to get down to right above what my goal weight was. But I would say that I was just focused on getting skinnier or losing weight, and dropping down pant sizes, and not necessarily focused on my overall getting my body into a good healthy place to sustain me for long term. And I didn't see the stress relief, the energy going up. If anything, it just made my life more stressful because I was
Oh,
worried about,
interesting.
oh, I'm not eating, all the things I want to eat. And, I took my kids to go get snowballs and I didn't get one with them. And, are they seeing me, focusing on losing weight, and that creates a bad light for them? You have all those thoughts and those extra stresses I think that dieting can bring to it sometimes if it's not done
Hmm.
in the right way. And so I think now I'm learning and having to retrain my brain to not simply go off of, is the scale dropping, whatever it is, but it's more like how do I feel? Um, and using that to guide me. And I definitely am feeling a lot better than when I was just dieting.
Good points, and I'm glad you mentioned that because a lot of people will just do that, or maybe again on the opposite end, right? They just all just exercise but continue pounding snowballs and whatever else down their throat. Um, you cannot do one without the other. You
Hmm.
got to get both in, and you've made great points about it that you've done one end and you've had some
Hmm.
success. You're absolutely right. But did it add stress relief? No. Did it help with really changing the shape of your body? No, you're right.
Hmm.
You just got skinny. In a sense, you were still skinny fat
Yeah.
because you weren't really changing your body composition, which for me, as a fitness professional, that's what it is. It's not really
Hmm.
what's the number on that scale, but how can we continue to change that body composition and shape of your body to so that you're happy, you have self-confidence. Yes, your clothes do fit, but it's not just about how them fitting, but how they fit on you and how do they make you feel when you're in them.
Hmm.
So why would a woman who has had 3 kids, runs a very successful national franchise, busy all the time, husband's also working in the business and also, is heavily involved in the childbearing, even want to exercise? Like so many will just dial in and hey, you know what, 3 kids, I'm done. See you later. So compared to some of your friends who maybe are in your position, with multiple kids and jobs and what have you, but aren't putting the effort in, like how do you see the difference?
I think it goes back to the why for me. It's like I'm a future thinker, and I think that's probably one of the reasons that I've had success in my life, and is I'm thinking about what's next. And I've a big goal of mine was to become a business owner, and to have children. And so I think for me, the beginning half of my life was, I want to be a mom, I want to be a business owner, and so I've achieved those. And now I'm thinking about, okay, what's my next big goals that I'm working towards? And one of those for me is how do I set myself up now and make decisions that are going to get me the result that I'm looking for later on in life. A big quote that I stick with is, what do you, it's, you should focus on the things you want long term and not just what you want right now. Right. And so
Hmm.
I think for me, that's what drives me to stay healthy and to start exercising. And even so, not just doing, what I think is best, like, oh, let me go to the gym and work out for an hour on the elliptical machine, but like getting someone who understands and is like creating very intentional time with my time, because I am busy. And so I
Right.
want to make sure that if I'm taking the time out of my day to go and do something, I'm doing it the right way. And so I think for me, that's why I decided to start working out and putting a routine into that. But then also why I decided to kind of use a trainer is, I like to enlist experts in my life, people who know, have done more
Yes.
research and
Yes.
know more about what they're
Yes.
doing than I do. Um, and that's something that's I think aided me in my life, and I've learned from that. And so whenever I was like, okay, I want to start working out, I want to get healthy, who's going to help me with that was kind of my thought. And it also has that part of accountability too. I know that if you don't see me at the gym all week, even if it's not our time, you're gonna be like, where have you been?
Right.
So I like having that person who's going to hold me accountable. In my life, that's a competitive thing for me. If I say I'm going to do something, I want to do it. And so I think it's another just kind of some of the drivers for me.
You're right. my eyes are all knowing and all seeing. I know when you've been bad or when you've been good. Everybody has their structures and their regimens. When someone comes in a different time, hey, I notice. Or when they're not here on Tuesday, I notice.
Mhm.
You're right. Whether they're with me or not, that's just it's people's routines. And I think you nailed it. You're investing, right? And you're investing into your body just like you invest into your IRA or your 401k into retirement. You have to put
Mhm.
in the deposits now so that later you can have plenty of withdrawals and active lifestyle when your kids are teens, when they turn into their 20s. Like mine just graduated college, a couple weeks ago. And what's going to happen from there?
Mhm.
You want to be that person to still be able to keep up with them, and then with potential grandkids.
Yep. Yep.
So it's important. And then like you're right, unless you're a professional. I don't do my. You don't do your own taxes, do you?
No,
Right.
I could not.
Exactly. It's similar principle. There's so much out there to learn, and the tax laws are constantly changing and revising and things like that. And if you screw up just a little bit, well, you might not be physically hurt. Your wallet's physically hurt.
Yep.
So it's good to have that someone there to help you and guide you along. So you just came back from Disney World vacation,
Yep.
not too long ago, right? Yeah.
Yep, with all three of the kids last
All,
month.
all three of the kids and the fourth big one in Trey.
Yep.
So how has exercise, because hey, there's a lot of families out there that go to Disney World and they know it's gonna be an ass kicker with all the
Mhm.
walking, the heat, maybe whatever time of day it was. So how did working out help you on this vacation?
Oh, it was great. I definitely did not feel any kind of like so I've struggled with back pain in my past. And since I started doing like some core exercises and strength training, like I really have not had any issues with that, which has been a big driver for me to keep doing it. Because back pain is not fun.
No.
And whenever we were there, I was able to kind of walk around the parks all day and get in all those steps that you get. I think we were hitting like 20,000 steps a day or something. And I didn't feel any pain. I wasn't sore. I wasn't, huffing and puffing, being outside, and even in the crazy heat that we were having. And so again, it just reignited like my why behind it with, oh, how can I, I'm doing something that's like helping me like keep up with my children and being healthy and doing the things that they get excited about and want to do, and not feeling like, oh, I no, I can't do that. My body can't handle that.
Right. So true. It goes in beyond just in the gym and even just beyond home. How do you
Hmm.
enjoy your leisure time, your fun time? So
Yeah.
Disney World and Europe are two places that you're not going just to sit by the pool.
Yeah, you're not. But then when you are doing that leisure time, it helps give you a little bit more confidence whenever you are like, wanting to go to the pool with your family or, as a woman, I think that's something that people can struggle with. I guess any gender, really just that self-confidence of getting into a swimsuit. And, I don't want to be the mom who's like too self-conscious to get in the pool and play with her kids, that because I don't want to be seen in a bathing suit. And so I think again, that's kind of been a guidance for me is like, I'm not trying to hit a goal weight. I'm not trying to hit a certain pant size, but it's like I want to be comfortable getting into, a one piece swimsuit and getting into the pool with my kids and not feeling like, oh, I'm not going to join in on the family fun because I'm like self conscious. So I feel good about the fact that I'm like doing that this summer and just making memories with them. And I think for
Mhm.
me, it just goes back to that.
That's you. That's great, and you're right. You it, you want to be able to participate in life
Hmm.
because you only got one shot at it, and especially as each age group they change. And you're right, Lauren. We're going to reach a time when they're not going to want you there.
Yeah.
Leave me alone, mom. Leave me
Yeah.
alone. You can stop right here at the end of the block. I'm going to get out the car and walk on down to the pool, and you can just go back home.
Yep.
So that's great. That's great, and you're an inspiration to moms everywhere, women business owners, entrepreneurs, in managing all of this and still knowing that you have to take care of you first to be successful in every other venture that you have. Because if you're broken down, if you're sick, if you're having health problems, if you don't have energy, the store doesn't run very well. Your household
Yep.
sure as hell doesn't run very well, and you're not
Yeah.
running very well.
Yeah, that's definitely something, again, I've learned just over time is, I think when you're a young leader, you can sometimes feel that self-consciousness of like, oh, I need to, be there all the time. I need to do this all the time. I need to be present. And, you can put your needs and your health and your different relationship buckets like on the back burner in order to like achieve what your big goals are. And I definitely like had a stage in my life where I went through that. But I think for me, I'm very like responsible and I'm very like purpose driven. And so I always kind of have that in the back of my mind of like, okay, but like I want to show up for these people who are entrusted to my care in a certain way. And as I'm getting older, I'm learning that, like you said, like I have to take care of myself. My team laughs at me because I say this all the time, but I steal it from the flight attendants. Like you have to put your oxygen mask on first, and I like
Mhm.
really truly believe that. Like I have to take care of myself physically. I have, a therapist that I work with take care of my mental health. Like I have an assistant that I help, just take care of my space case side sometimes. She helps me
Yes.
keep me aligned on my priorities. And that I need all of those things in my life to help hold me accountable. And so for me, like the fitness aspect and working with you is just another element of my life where I've created this routine of like, okay, what's my accountability? Like what's my goal? Like what do I need to do and put on my calendar like daily to make that happen? And then who's my accountability partner for that? In order to make sure that I'm taking care of myself and running like a well-oiled machine so that I can do well in all of the other things that I've taken on.
Yep. Yep. You're 1,000% correct. And I use that analogy too of the oxygen mask.
It's a good one. You can really like think about it. You're like, oh, that makes sense.
It is. It does. I mean, they don't, the FAA doesn't do that just because for shits and giggles, they never thought about
Yeah.
it, you know?
Yeah.
So it makes perfect sense. So Lauren, as we wrap this up, is there any way to that your location has a website or Facebook page or any type of Instagram account for people to follow or just get in touch with you for inspiration?
Oh yeah, absolutely. So yeah, we're Chick-fil-A Covington Highway 21. And you can follow us on Instagram or Facebook at CFA Covington 21. And then I'm also on LinkedIn just as Lauren Nelson. So if you ever wanted to reach out or any conversation, please feel free to reach out to me.
Right. And I'll say to everybody this is Louisiana because our other Covingtons in other states throughout the
Yes, there's a
country.
lot of those I'm learning.
Yeah, I know for a fact there's a Covington, Kentucky because I've
I
seen
know there's
something.
a Covington, Georgia, because there's another Chick-fil-A and sometimes they'll get mixed up with us.
Right, right. So for all out there listening, remember it's Covington, Louisiana. So
If you can't tell by the accents, then now you know.
right, right. So thank you for joining me today. I appreciate your time. I think it was a great opportunity to share your story with people. So thank you for coming on today.
Yeah, thank you for having me. I hope it can add value.
Absolutely, absolutely. So if you like what you heard today, please share, subscribe, like the Peel Appeal podcast, and tell others about it. The more we can grow the audience, the more we can have a bigger impact on our world out there. So this is Matt Peel with the Peel Appeal podcast. Until next time, I will see you later.
Are you ready to get in the game? Get personal help, sign up for our newsletter, and pick up your copy of Athlete in the Game of Life, the book, all at mattpeel.com. Thanks for listening.